It is July 13th, 2026. This is a trade recap. We took a few trades today to kind of scale and took some opportunities. I believe today I took either three or four trades, about three micros each. Um, Purely our setups that we're looking for today. I woke up pretty late, had to take care of some chores, got online, checked the pre-markets, and I noticed that London had already kind of swept Asia low here, which is cool. I saw this morning. I think I was up early in the morning taking care of a child, and I saw we were coming up, so I was like, hey, maybe we'll hit Asia high up here, maybe we won't, something like that, because that's pretty far away. We saw this move last night. This was a beautiful play out. This was a good play down here. But anyway, so what I wanted to see was either, I mean, looking at it, we're in between two lanes here. Asia low has already been sweet. We still have London low on the table, and then we still have Asia high way the F up here. Um, with ES kind of was doing the same thing. It was still kind of reaching up here. So I was like, okay, maybe ES will climb up to Asia high and we'll chop around like we've seen before, and then dump down to London low and then do whatever else that the market wants to do. Um, and that's kind of how I'm looking at it. When we zoom out at this level here on the 5 minute, we can see that again, this area right here is bringing me a lot of attraction. We have our previous month 50 here as well as like all of this liquidity up here. So I'm thinking we go a little dip and then up to the top there when market opens. So as we continue going in here, it is now 9:28. We're 2 minutes in. I haven't taken a trade. I haven't taken a trade. 9:30 hits and we get that massive wick down, like what we talked about, and then this wick up. And what was ES doing? I'm gonna turn the buy signals off here so they don't show everything up. What was ES doing? ES was beginning to just climb up to like we talked about, kind of that Asia high, which is lining up right with that fib level around one. So we had massive divergence. So again, I don't trade before 9:30 happens, which is our open range breakout, and so I stayed out of the trade here. We keep going along here. We have another massive dip because this is what we're looking for, right? So ES continued to climb, and kind of chop around here, which is cool. But NQ was already dumping hard. So it's literally like, is ES going to pull NQ up or is NQ going to pull ES down? That's kind of like what we're looking for. Um, but I'm waiting for a sweep here. That's all I'm waiting for. So we continue to go and we wait and we wait and we're getting really close here. And here's that, whoops, too far there. And here's that kind of chop we talk about here, where we kind of get into this slow little chop while we wait for someone to make a move. And luckily for us, thank you, that makes a move down. There's another equal, and then bam, we make a new lower low. Boom, we sweep out London low here. That's fantastic. So we've hit the first mark of our checklist, which is first off, we're not trading. Don't trade before 0930 unless it's like an A plus, freaking, easy day. We want to see some sort of session sweep. That's what I look for. Because again, I'm not really good at this stuff, and so like I keep it very simple. Session sweeps is like my go-to. Some guys will do like fib sweeps, quarter points, stuff like that. I'm just like, hey, you know what? I'm doing session sweeps because that for me shows where the liquidity is very simply. So we have our session sweep now, which we have swept now London low. So, and I'm gonna anchor this so we can keep it on screen. Okay. So what is ES doing at this time? Oh, well, look at that. ES is also coming down, but kind of chopping around in between our orb at the time. We continue to move, keep coming down, coming down. Now, right here, this tells me this, I think it's called an anvil or a hammer. We zoom out here. I've got two options now. I think we were good to go. I think we have a little bit of S&T here. We want to go back up. We also have some more room to grab. We also have our previous week 50 down there, which could be a potential too. So ES is still kind of doing its weird stuff right here, which kept me out of the trade because again, it still wasn't 9:35. Sorry, 9:45. 9:30 is when it opens. My apologies there. His opening range is the first 15 minutes here, so sorry, 9:45. So we're gonna keep going here, and now we're starting to slow down. See, now we have another big wick, and now we're gonna move upward. So it's like, okay, we need to get in down here because it's gonna keep retesting. So I believe it's gonna show. Is this my? I hope it shows where my trades are. If not, I'll have to like take a look later. Um, but bam, and then it comes down and retests, which again shows us that hey, it wants to take up that little bit left of liquidity. What is ES doing? You can see on the right hand side there, we're doing this little bounce off of the low. So you could have gotten in there and bottom ticket. This was the bottom ticket of the day, which is pretty cool. This is the bottom. Well, so far, I don't know. Obviously, it is currently noon, so I don't know what the rest of the market's going to do. This has nothing to do with our strategy. It just is interesting to see that the bottom tick lines up exactly with our zero fib. So now we're coming back up here. We have this fair value gap here. So that is check two, I guess number three of our checklist, right? We need an FVG form. We have an FVG right here. It's automatically put on my chart next to my indicator. Bam, we have an FVG, and now we have a chopper on here. Why I didn't personally like go bottom tick and why I was still hesitant is because ES was being weird. ES is currently in between two ranges. We still have one low we need to go get. We also have one Asia high to go get. That personally made me delay my trade because I don't know if ES is still going to continue to draw NQ down or bring NQ back up. So we're going to continue to go through here. And I believe, and I'll show you my trades after this. So bam, that took a lot of people out. That if you tried to bottom tick, wow, look at that, I was already behind kill. Shows how much I know. But there we go. So it looks like we're approaching that previous week 50. And at this point, ES had dipped down below mid low, so maybe we're breaking out of mid low. We don't know that, but that's something too. So again, I was waiting on this trade. I think that took me out. I'll have to review my trades later. But well, here actually took a screenshot here. Yes. So this took me out. I had a long going here. I had a long going here. I actually had a long going here because I wanted to get in on London low. So I actually took a long right here with 3 micros. Let me get that candle up. It was a lot better trade than top take. I wasn't going there. I had 3 micros, 100 stop loss because hey, I'm like that's pretty solid, and maybe move it down, and then immediately coming up got taken out. I was like sick. So that was my first trade of the day. Absolute loser. Second trade is coming up. So we see this chop around here, and this little guy I got in at the bottom tick here. Same thing. I went 3 micros, 100 ticks. I think I moved it down to the body because I was like, okay, if we think about it, we have a bunch of orders down here that people want. We've already taken those orders because we've reversed. So it should never hit down here below ever again because there shouldn't be any more orders. Well, that's stupid to think about because again, I get taken out. Bam. So now I'm down big time. And I'm like, that sucks, right? Because now we're down a lot of money. So that took me out. You can see I was already down, yeah, $400 or something. Not very good. Probably like if I hadn't looked at the money, I probably would have quit today because that's a lot of money to lose. And I was creating a 25K account with about $1,000 of drawdown. So I'm already like almost done with drawdown. But then we start coming back up. So now we can hopefully see that hey, we've taken out all of our liquidity. And so I jumped in on these trades on anticipation. There was no confirmation. This was a purely like C plus. Both these trades were probably C plus. We were coming in on maybe 2 confluences, not complete confirmation. Because as I said earlier, we still could have gone up or down. So I just lost $400 on a C plus trade because that's stupid. And guess what? Coming up here soon, as we see forward, I'm like, we're starting to get weak here. We have a retest down here, failed the retest. So we're coming back up, and then bam, I take the long here finally. Um, can't remember how many contracts I went in. It might have been, I think it was three. It might have been four. I'm not really sure. But I was like, okay, that's cool. Another anticipation trade because we're not confirmed. We only have an FPG form that says swoop. We need to print through the FPG. Your entry should be up here. We're going purely based off of our um, strategy here. But if we look here, we have ES is swept form and low. We are coming through the fib level, and I'm sorry, NQ. We look over here, and at this time, we have bounced off of 4. I didn't really take that into consideration. Again, this is purely another anticipation trade. And luckily, it plays out with my favor, in my favor, and we start coming up for 149 ticks. I set a big profit right there. I sold one because I wanted to, that was my first kind of point because it's bottom of orb, or I'm sorry, oh, that's London low. Why did I take that? Yeah, you know what? I got that messed up. But it was 100 points. Usually my first 100 ticks, I take profit because I'm always looking for 100 ticks. My next target was the 236. So I had a sell order sitting right here because I said this is where I want price to go because I know that it's going to go. It might get chopped up here. But I said we got room to go, especially if it breaks it here. This is going to be our first point of contention. So we continue to go. And at this point, ES is also reversing. As you can see on the right-hand screen, we're currently right here. We're coming up too. Sweet. We continue to come up. Right there, that's your entry. That is where we have a printer of the FPG. We also have an IFPG. Now, a lot of the older guys and a lot of the more skilled traders, I'm not very skilled, will wait for a retest of this before continuing higher. I am working on learning that, and I'm getting better at that. However, I don't do I would take this trade right there and then set my stop loss here. That's probably like a really bad idea because I'm also not targeting. It's only 103 ticks. I'm also don't know what I'd be targeting. Like if you're targeting the 236, that's not a good risk to reward because you just saw it was 123. It's literally a one-to-one trade, and so you'd have to hope that it breaks through higher. So as we continue through, just get higher, and again, it just hits my 2P right there for good money. 440 ticks, and there you go. That was 455 and 74 there. So that was my three trades today. And then, so I closed that account, and that's all that happened. Like, I guess you could have caught the down move too, because now, as you're gonna see, we enter this like W pattern. So you could have entered here again, because again we have an FPG here. Here's your IFPG. Wait for the retest. There's the retest. Take an entry there. 100 ticks. Oops, wrong order. My apologies. Take the sell. Go 3. Stop loss there. Take the sell and then see how it plays out, right? And then we're going to target probably right here. Like we can still buy 3. Take a TP right there. And see if it works. Okay, it doesn't. Takes us out. And then that's a Trump tweet there, but we're already done trading. That's why I don't take any more trades because I didn't feel confident in my trades. I was like, yeah, that was sick. Let me take it on the way down. But no, I do one and done. And yeah, I missed out on 136. Like, as you can see, that's pretty cool. But that's not a trade that I take. And yeah, that's why 3 and done, 1 and done, 2 and done. Stick to your rules. It works. Wait for those A plus setups, and then the rest of the day plays out, and you can see we kind of hit this chop, 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 and then finally we're breaking kind of higher now. And I haven't looked at the chart since, and so I think eventually we're gonna get to Asia high. I would like to think we're gonna get up here. Um, yeah, that's the trade recap of the day. We had 3 trades overall. We had winners. I think on let me check my screenshots here. I took a couple losses on. Oh wow, never mind. Came back down. Um, I had a couple losses on my what are they called evals today. about a $400 loss across two accounts of 200 each. But then I made 270 on the other ones, making progress there, and then making progress on my funded next futures. So I hope that trade recap helps for anyone who's struggling. If you have questions, just let me know. I do this for me, just because it keeps me honest. Because I could have FOMOed here, I didn't. Could have FOMOed here big time, I didn't. Um, yeah, so let me go. Let me know. So the trade today was literally a couple C pluses, big anticipation. The A plus setup right here, I guess B plus. I guess B plus because there was so much volume here. If you would have entered, your risk to reward would have been eh. So it was a B plus because of the anticipation, but we had a lot of confidence. We were making lower lows, we were making higher highs. Again, I guess bottom tick of the day would have technically been the Trump tweet, but whatever. Yeah, just let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.